Hey, this is just the dude showing you how to put a heat sensor in a Samsung dishwasher. I'm not an electrician. You should always consult an electrician when electricity is involved, but I'm just showing you what I did. I turned off the breaker to the dishwasher. I checked the dishwasher. I then undid the front cover plate by the 2 screws on each side, removed it out of the way, and then I turned off the water. And then I removed the drain hose so that the dishwasher can have slack when I pull it out later. It can be a little tough to pull off. Twist a little bit is what worked for me. I undid these 2 screws on the top that was holding the dishwasher in place. I then undid the fill line with a 5/8 wrench. And then with a Phillips screwdriver, remove this electrical cover plate. I noticed it's a little bit wonky. Probably a good thing that I got in here. Whoever was in here last probably didn't put it in right. Just a good reminder, I'm not an electrician, but this is what I did. I got one of those probes, electrical probes from Lowe's. Read the instructions on the back to see if this thing still had any power to it, just in case. Once I felt comfortable, turned it off. That was good to go. I began removing the wire nuts counterclockwise direction. I then noted which wires went to which, that the white to white and the black went to the black, and that the green and yellow wire went to the copper wire. On the bottom of this collar that you'll see here, I used the screwdriver to loosen it up so that when I take this retaining nut off that you see me taking off right now, I could possibly slide it down the wire a little bit to maybe give me better access when I push these wires down and out of the way. Once I removed the wires, I put that retaining nut back on the collar so I wouldn't lose it. But in retrospect, I probably wish I would have just removed the whole thing so I didn't get caught on the dishwasher. Once I was done with that, I grabbed the door, as you see right there, and then I grabbed also the top part of the dishwasher to pull up and out of the way. It worked really well for me. Once that was done, I noted the wire layout, and then I took this side panel access plate with 2 screws, and once the 2 screws are out, I just had to lift it out of the way. With a 1/2-inch wrench, I just loosened up on this nut, on this dampener, and I didn't take the nut all the way off, just loose enough so I could pull it out of the way. I flipped up that matting, took a Phillips screwdriver, and then proceeded to unscrew these 2 screws, just first loosening them both up. I got lucky right here. The screw didn't fall off. The other one I wasn't so lucky. When I took it off, it fell down there and I had to fish it out. And it was a little bit of a tug for me to pull this out, but not too bad. You can see all this calcium buildup, and there was also a crack on it, and I think that's why it failed. After that, I undid the harness, the wire from the harness, by unclipping it. Pop. And then, as you can see, I have my new one, and you can see that crack. I put the new one in, took a little bit of a push, then I aligned these screw holes. Screwed it back in, nice and snug. Plugged it back in, click. Put that doohickey back, 1/2-inch wrench. Put the cover plate back. Let's just slide right down and put the 2, line the holes. And then I put the 2 screws back in. I had to get this wire in there, get them all aligned, and it took me a little minute because of that piece that I was talking about earlier. I had to get it underneath about 3 inches or 4 for me to push it back, but I was able to. And then this is what I came out with, both pieces on the correct side. I put the fill line back on with that 5/8 wrench and snugged it up. Put the the drain hose back on. And tighten that down. Turn the water back on. And once I had this water on, I quickly went over to the other side to see if I was leaking. And I wasn't. And then this, of course, was the tricky part, getting these electrical wires back. Once again, if I'm not an electrician, basically I'm not qualified, so you should always consult an electrician. But what I did was I snaked all this stuff back up, got the collar back up, and we just went popped. And then once I got it up, pop, I put that retaining ring back on to hold it in place. And after I got the retaining ring on, I adjusted where the jackets of the wire were, where I liked, and then I tightened up on that collar on the bottom with that screwdriver again. I think it took either a flathead and a Phillips. I think it was one of those ones that took multiple ones. After that, I started putting the wire nuts back on clockwise, as you can see. I started with the green and yellow and the copper wire. So I believe those are ground. After that, I tugged on them, made sure that they were secure, and I pushed it all the way into the back. And then I proceeded to the black wires. And of course, as I went along there, kept on getting harder and harder to put the wire nuts on. Got it lined up and screwed it on clockwise. Once I was finished, I tugged on them, made sure they were secure. Snaked out the white ones. This one was a little bit harder to get them lined up nicely for the wire nut. Just a reminder, I'm not an electrician, so if you don't feel confident in doing this work, then I recommend you get an electrician to do it. Nice. And as you remember that cover plate, it's all wonky in the beginning, so I tried to make it look really nice this time. Put that screw back. Screwed it in. And then I secured the dishwasher back up to the counter with the 2 screws on the top, as you can see. Then I put that cover plate back on with the 2 screws on each end. All right, after I got the cover plate on, it was the nerve-wracking part, moment of truth. Time to turn the power on. Boom. And see if it works. All right, no auto and normal heat sensor replaced. Hope you enjoyed the show.